Welcome to MTG Friends. I'm Ryan, and this is Commander Deck Tech time. We're going to do one that I found incredibly interesting putting together. It's Jodah the Unifier. So we're going to go through these packages and stuff and just check this bad boy out. I'm planning on putting this to actual cardboard myself, so this is really interesting. And I don't know, I feel like it's worth talking about this shirt, my ghost shirt that Dan got me because he went to the concert. Thanks, Dan. Shout out to Dan. But look at that. It's like I have my own special effects. It's like, whoa, man. So hippie, man. But yeah, there's actually like blue here and it like disappears when I move. What is happening? Whoa. Oh, it's Ghost. Anyway, if you've never heard of Ghost, you probably like that band. All right, so let's get to it, folks. Yes, sirree, bobalicious, gooby, scooby, a doobie. All right, let's check out these packages, yo. All right, so, I suppose we should see what the hell this thing does. Legendary creatures you control get +X, where X is the number of legendary creatures you control. Let's get ready to rumble. Whenever you cast a legendary spell, keep that in your brain because we're about to hit some seriously interesting stuff in these builds. From your hand, exile cards from the top of your library until you exile a legendary non-land card with lesser mana value. You may cast that card without paying its mana cost. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. Kind of sounds like Cascade to me, but who am I? All right, so we got a few draw pieces. We got the legendary package over there. We got a huge amount of ramp. If you think that there's way too much ramp in this build, whittle it down a little bit and then put other stuff in. I mean, whatever you want. We're running 35 lands, one planeswalker. Ooh, a planeswalker in a build of yours? Hell yeah. We got a few removal pieces, some protection pieces, and some shenanigans. Did someone say shenanigans? Shenanigans. All right, protection. And our tutors. Tutors you'd expect to see in builds that I/our playgroup does. All rice-a-roni. Tasty vittles. Now, I think it's worth mentioning that because of how unique this commander is, we have like legendary sorcery spells, we have legendary artifacts. I mean, we got some cool stuff. And I will mention which ones are totally swappable, just ones I thought were worth putting in. Let's get to it. All right, we got Duh. And I'm going to beat this dead horse. Ping, ping, ping. With the whole legendary creature thing. So draw whenever you cast a historic spell, and it's worth spelling out. Artifacts, legendaries, and sagas are historic, because that's going to come up again in all these synergies we're doing. You draw a card. Boom. Real straightforward with this bad boy. Mystic Remora, I am starting to put this in a lot more builds. I just think it's so great, especially if you get it early on. And late game, mid game, you're probably going to be getting card draw out of it anyways. Cumulative upkeep 1. As you probably know, that just means 1 the first time, 2 the next time, 3 the next time. And each time somebody plays a spell, you may draw a card if they don't pay 4, which they're not going to pay 4. They just aren't going to do it. Ain't gonna do it. Wouldn't be prudent. Reki is the history of Kamigawa. I hope that's not racist by me talking like that. I don't know. Legendary Shaman. Whenever you play a legendary spell, draw a card. And this build, of course, is chock full of legendary. Oh, and of course, the very next card is not legendary. Whenever an opponent plays a spell, you may draw a card unless they pay 1. Gonna pay 1. Sylvan. Okay, so 2 in a row that aren't legendary. Draw 2 cards and choose any 2 cards in your hand this turn for each of those cards. Pay 4 life. So pay up to a total of 8 to get 3 cards per turn. Pretty simple. Yo. Apparently we're right into lands. Now, I think it's worth mentioning. Usually I just blast through lands, but this particular time I'm going to actually take a little time and let's talk about the lands because it's very relevant because we are in uno, dos, tres, cuatro, cinco. We are in all the 5 colors. All the 5 colors of the rainbow. Rainbow with unicorns and all sorts of stuff shooting out of our keisters. We have the shock lands because they are fetchable, because they are both, swamp, mountain, in the other iterations, plains, and you get it. You get it. They are fetchable because they are basic land types. We are also playing, I believe, all of the triomes, also fetchable. I don't like that they come in tapped, but I do like that you get 3 different choices per triome. So even though usually I really bitch and moan about the tap land, blah blah blah, the triomes in this particular instance, because we're running 5 colors, is bueno-licious. The shock lands are perfect because they're also fetchable, because we are also running the fetch lands. All right, now we are running fetch lands without any basics. We are running 0 basics, folks. 0. So when we fetch, we're fetching triomes or shock lands. Now, I purposely didn't put the if you have 2 or more opponents because those lands are not, I'm talking a lot with my hands, fetchable. They are land dash. Okay? You got it? Got it. Yeah. So I don't think we're running every single fetch land, but we are. That's our land package. You got it. You got it. And then a couple of the others are, the stuff you'd expect to see. This one's very legendary specific. The Plaza of Heroes. You can add mana of any color to cast among legendary permanents you control. This is really great. This is This is a new one as of this recording. What is this? Oh, Dominaria United. That's right. So a great one for this build without a doubt. We're also running Mana Confluence, Ping Land, and I think the only other one to really mention is not Exotic Orchard. City of Brass, obviously you can get any color out of that. What was the one that I put in here? Raffine's Tower? No. Where is it, people? Oh, no. Okay, I'm not editing all this fumbling. We're just going to keep this live, y'all. Where is it? Plaza, Mystic, me. Oh, we're running this one. Untapped target legendary permanent for 1 blue, tappy tap. That's one that might be unusual. And then, God, there's one more in here. Oh, there it is. Cascading Cataracts. Indestructible. Okay, that's cool. But for 5, we can tap and add 5 mana in any combination of colors so that we can get every color. Vinid. We have ways to make you speak. All right. I think we've belabored that enough. Let's get into the legendary creatures. And, of course, if you see a legendary creature card in here that you'd rather swap out for some other legendary creature card, I mean, you do you, boo. You do you. Did I just call a bunch of randos boo? I think I did. All right, I couldn't find a non-foil of this, so it's foil. I know it looks weird in our episodes, but I'm looking over at the card because it's on my left monitor screen. How many monitors do you people use? I use 2. 2 is all I need. I could do 4. My buddy Josh, he has like 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, Abaddon the Despoiler for colors. Trample, Mark of Ascendance. During your turn, spells you cast from your hand with mana value X or less have Cascade, where X is the total amount of life your opponent has lost this turn. So, of course, you're going to want to play that after you've whack-a-moled somebody. You get it. Captain Sisse, go fetch up a legendary card. Then you put it in your hand. That's pretty darn tootin' groovy. Old card, too. That is a very old card from Invasion. Chromat, also very, very old. I don't know why I'm doing a 1942 German accent in English. I just don't know. Chromat, all the colors. And then it's got all these cool things it does. Destroy target creature blocking or blocked by Chromat. Chromat gains flying, regenerate, gets +1 until end turn, and put on top of the library. That's just got some very cool skills, yo. Some skills. All right, Seek a God of Zetri. Add 1 mana of any color. We like it. Other legendary creatures you control have vigilance and tap it for any color. We like both of those things. We like the stock. We like the stock. And then the bridge for all the colors. At the beginning of your upkeep, reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a creature or planeswalker cards. Put that card onto the battlefield and the rest. So depending on what you got going on the battlefield, you may actually use either side of this. This little Seek God of Zetri. One of the cooler cards out of Kaldheim. All right, Kaldheim. Jensen, Carthalion, Druid Exile. This is whenever you cast a multicolored spell, Scry. We're cool with that. If that spell was all colors, create a 4/4 angel. And for 5 tap, add all the colors. Jetmir, Nexus of Revels, Cat Demon. This one's a totally swappable card, by the way. Oh, boop, boop, boop. Give me that Cat Demon back. Creatures you control get +1 and have vigilance as long as you control 3 or more creatures. Creatures you control also get +1 and have trample as long as you control 6 or more creatures. And creatures you control also have +1. It's just bigger your board, the better the stuff. Now, in my play groups, this card should probably be swapped because there's always just so much flipping removal and mass removal and exile and oh my shnikes. But I try not to bias the builds for y'all. Because of the higher caliber of like decks I tend to play against. I mean, yeah. There's no like budgetary restrictions in any of my play groups, and nor yours. There should be no budgetary restrictions. And if there and just proxy it if you don't have it. It's all good. Jin Jetaxius Progress Tyrant. Arr. One of the few pips, mono-colored multi-pips. Do I even need to explain what this bad boy does? Or girl, or it? Is the Phyrexian non-descriptive for sex? Oh, you know what? I don't even want to go into politics of pronouns and all that. Jin Jetaxius. Whenever you cast an artifact, instant, or sorcery spell, copy that spell. You may choose new targets for the copy. This ability triggers only once each turn. Whenever an opponent casts an artifact, instant, or sorcery spell, counter that spell. I mean, boom, 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 boom. Yes. And yeah, if you're of any color of the rainbow, it's all good, man. You do you. You do you. Kenrith, the Returned King. I mean, also a card that really doesn't need explanation. People really hate having to play against this card. Like if it's your commander, they're just like, oh, Kenrith, oh, he's so bad. I mean, he does awesome stuff. It does cost you 5 to get it on the playfield, so I don't know why people wig out about this card. You just got a lot of choices of doing stuff. You can pull things out of the graveyard and give yourself 5 life. You can put +1 counters on it. You can draw a card. I mean, this thing is badass. Kira Great, Glass Spinner. For 3, almost had an Irish accent there. Almost. Or Scottish. Almost. Kira Great, Glass Spinner. Flying creatures you control have whenever this creature becomes the target of a spell or ability for the first time in a turn. Counter that spell or ability. We have very few spells that are targeting our own creatures. So, yeah. So, there you go. Maelstrom Archangel. All Zakalas for 5/5. Whenever Maelstrom Archangel deals combat damage to a player, you may cast a spell from your hand without paying its mana. One of the very, very few cards in here that's a creature that isn't legendary. So if you're just not digging the fact that this isn't legendary, get it out. Get it out. I like it enough that I'm playing it anyways. Maelstrom. Legendary creature. Super expensive. Super duper. Mana-wise. Creatures you control have haste. Cascade. We all know what Cascade is, right? If you don't know what Cascade is, put it in the comments. I'll enlighten you to what that's up. What's up with that? Legendary warrior, Najila. Whenever a warrior attacks you may have is controller create a 1/1 white warrior creature token that's tapped and attacking. But more important for the colors of the rainbow, untap all attacking creatures. They gain trample, lifelink, and haste until end of turn. After this phase, there is an additional combat phase. That's so awesome. So awesome. Ragavan! Let's ramp. I mean, it's in Legendary. This really should be in Ramp. Whenever Ragavan Nimble Pilfer deals combat damage to a player, create a treasure token and exile top card of that player's library until end of turn. You may cast that card. Synergizes with other things like if you play a Legendary card, you draw a card, all that kind of stuff. Samut, Voice of Dissent. Flash, Double Strike, Vigilance, Haste. Other creatures have Haste. I mean, you get it, right? You know why that's in there. Sylvala, Heart of the Wilds. Also one of the few ones that has a double pip in one particular color. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield, its controller may draw a card if its power is greater than each other creature's power. And green tap, add X mana in any combination of colors to your mana pool. You get it, right? And that could probably also be in Ramp. Boop, boop, badoop, badoop. Shall I? Shall I? Shall I what? Mispronounce this card? Yes, I shall. Voice of Plenty, 4-drop. You planeswalkers you control and other creatures you control have hexproof. Thumbs up on that part. And then for 6, you can put a 1/1 counter on each creature you control. Yep. That's going to get path to exile, I guarantee. Shanid, Sleeper's Scourge. Menace. Other legendary creatures have Menace. And when you play a legendary land or cast a legendary spell, this is all about legendaries, folks. Draw a card and lose a life. Yes. Sissay. +1 for each color among other legendary permanents you control. And for the colors of the rainbow, search your library for a legendary permanent with converted mana cost less than Sissay's power. Put that card onto the battlefield, then shuffle your library. So you're probably going to tutor up something pretty good with this, depending on your board state, of course. All right, let's give everything haste and make all their stuff come in tapped. We like that. Valky, God of Lies. The flip part of this is actually cooler than anything. I mean, you drop it like a hot on the battlefield for 2, and you can go grab something out of an opponent's hand and exile it, and then you can turn it into it. Yeah, but more importantly is for 7, we could drop Tibalt onto the play field. We can do some exile shenanigans where we can exile stuff, play stuff. You got it. You got it. You got it. I'd go deeper into that, but you get what that's about. All right, Fencer, Shaper, Savant. This one almost didn't make the cut, but in a pinch, this thing is super great. It's got Flash. When it enters the battlefield, return target spell or permanent to its owner's hand. So you can flash it in and, in essence, counter a spell. So, you know what's up with this one. I'm saying you know what's up a lot. All right, so yeah, if you're digging something else, because this is not a counter spell deck, it just isn't. I didn't put in any of the force of negations, force of will, any of that stuff. All right, so moving on. The one planeswalker, well, including Tibalt, it would be 2, but this is the planeswalker in here. It's got a +2 up to 1 target legendary creature gains vigilance, lifelink, and indestructible in the turn. And it's -3, reveal the top 4 cards of your library. Put any number of legendary cards, which is going to be at least 1, I'm thinking. Cards from among them into your hand and the rest into your graveyard. Create a treasure token for each card put into the graveyard this way. So it does it all. And its ultimate, I mean, if you hit its ultimate, then you're well on your way to winning already. Gain control of all non-land permanents until end of turn. Untap them, then they gain haste until end of turn. That's just a ridiculous card. All right, all the staples for protection are in here. Well, I should say all of the main staples that you would expect to see me running. Heroic Interventions, permanents, gain hexproof and indestructible in the end of turn. Lightning Greaves, we really have very few auras, if any, but we have a couple equipments that you'll see here momentarily. Well, including this one, I suppose. My brain just went. Anyways, Lightning Greaves gives them haste and also gives it Shroud. Haste and can't be targeted with spells or abilities. There you go. All right. Oh, this is back when it didn't actually say the word Shroud. Interesting. All right. I put in exactly 1 sword, because Embercleave doesn't count. Oh, Spoiler for the rest of the video. Sword of Light and Shadow. I put this one in here because it gives you protection from white and from black, which is the two main spot removal colors. So that's pretty bueno. And whenever equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, you gain 3 life. Also cool. And you may return up to 1 target creature card from your graveyard to your hand, which is also super duper helpful if you didn't just get bajuka bogged or bogged up. Bogged. Teferi's Protection, the ultimate protection of all things in time and space. Until the next turn, nothing can happen to you. And you phase out. There you go. Pretty badass. At instant speed. Reason why you see it in every white deck. All right. We got a lot of ramp. And like I said, if there's a couple extra legendary creatures you want to run, or you do want to run a few counter spells, you can whittle this down. I just felt for what we're running and the amount of shenanigans we got going on, and with the colored pips, I felt that ramp was pretty important in this build. So Arcane Signet, every color of our commander. Birds. I'm a bird. No, I'm not going to finish that. Bloom Tender, for each color among permanents you control, add 1 mana of that color. Yeah. Chromatic Lantern, making all of our lands every color we could possibly need. Chromatic Orrery. Orrery. Say that 5 times fast. Oh gosh, it has 7 in its pip, but that's all right. You may spend mana as though it were mana of any color, and you can tap it for 5, which you can make of any color you want. And for another 5, draw a card for each color among permanents you control. This thing does a lot of stuff. Mid-game, late game, this thing is a beast. A beast. Dockside. ETBs. You get tokens for every enchantment and artifact. Treasure tokens, yo. All right, Feybarrow Elder, another non-legendary, but that's all right. It gets +1 for each color among permanents you control, so it could theoretically end up with 5, which would be great because then you can tap it for 5. Oh boy. Farseek to go grab a plains, island, swamp, or mountain and put it onto the battlefield tapped. We have both the hierarchs running for tap. Get those colors. Boop, badoop, badoop. Mox Amber's in here because we can add 1 color among legendary creatures and planeswalkers you control. And it's, you got it, folks, legendary. Nature's Lore to go fetch a forest, which means we can go get a Triumph with a forest in it. We can go get a Shockland with a forest in its I was gonna say description. In its, you know what I'm saying. The other noble hierarch, or the other hierarch, Smothering Tithe, because it's so annoying but so great. When they draw a card, they gotta pay 2, or else you get a treasure token. That, boy, if you can turn 3 or turn 4 drop Smothering Tithe in Commander, you are well on your way to Shenanigans. Shenanigans Town. Soul Ring, because why wouldn't you run a Soul Ring? Great Henge. We do have creatures that tend to be fairly large, so Great Henge is really gonna start drawing us cards and give us lots of shenanigans. 2 green pips. We're okay with that. Great Henge, I think, is a good fit in here. 3 visits, go grab another forest, put it on the battlefield, untap. Yes, sirree, Bobalicious. Timeless Lotus enters battlefield tapped. Boo on that, but that's okay. We can tap, add all the colors we need. All right, we got a few removal pieces. We got Assassin's Trophy that targets a permanent, which does include lands if so needed. And yeah, they get a basic land for the trouble. Aura Shards, because we do not have enchantment and artifact removal, so this is the way to do it. So I guess I just literally contradicted myself because this is artifact and enchantment removal. All right, whenever a creature comes into play under your control, you can destroy target artifact or enchantment. And remember, it's a may. So if we're the only ones with artifacts and enchantments, we do not have to have that resolved. Cyclonic Rift. Bounce all their crap back with Overlid. Not ours. Minus lands. Toxic Deluge. This one almost didn't make the cut as well, but if you have some persnickety stuff out there that's like indestructible and just annoying the crap out of you, we can minus X stuff. If you're feeling super froggy and you don't want this in here, swap it out. Swap it out, yo. All right. Urza's Ruinous Blast. Exile all non-land permanents that aren't legendary. Self-explanatory for this build, right? Yawgmoth's Vile Offering. Oh, this one is interesting. I saw this late in the build, and I thought it was absolutely worth putting in here. Put up to 1 target creature or planeswalker card from a graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. And on top of that, destroy up to 1 target creature or planeswalker. Then you exile it. And the one catch is you can only play this sorcery if you control a legendary creature or planeswalker, which should be happening if there wasn't just a board wipe. Oh, Embercleave, Embercleave. Oh, how we love the Embercleave. It's a legendary artifact, which is why it made the cut. Costs 1 less to cast for each attacking creature you control. When Embercleave enters the battlefield, attach it to target creature you control. It gets +1/+1 and has double strike and trample. This thing is badass. Man, when this was in standard, I loved playing red deck wins with Embercleave. It was so great. Another one of the legendary sorceries. There, I believe, is a legendary sorcery in each color. These are the 2 that made the cut for this deck. Target player takes an extra turn after this one. Return up to 1 target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. Exile Karn's Temporal Sundering. Boom, boom, shalaka. And, oh, we have another Planeswalker. I guess we did 3. Wow, okay. Legendary Planeswalker. It does have 3 black pips, which I was trying to stay away from anything that had 3, but I just felt like, oh, this would be fun to run in this deck. It has all loyalty abilities of all other Planeswalkers on the battlefield. That is basically not even relevant, although we have 2 other Planeswalkers, oddly enough. +1, you draw a card. Each opponent exiles a card from their hand or a permanent they control. -3, destroy target creature or planeswalker. And its ultimate is each opponent who doesn't control a legendary creature or planeswalker loses the game. Woohoo! Ooh-wee! Gee, Rick! This one, I must say, is totally swappable if you have something else you'd rather play. Primeval's Glorious Rebirth, Shenanigans. Return all legendary permanent cards from your graveyard to the battlefield. Oh, I guess that's a legendary sorcery as well. Sweet. I mean, you know why it's in here. Oh, let's read the flavor text. Centuries ago, 5 dragons conquered death to rule the living. Oh, that was very anticlimactic. All right, our tutor is everything you'd expect. And I actually added Grim Tutor as well because I just wanted that one additional tutor for tutorlicious tutoring. Demonic. I mean, if you have black, you are running Demonic Tutor. Right? Right. Search your library for a card, put that card into your hand, then shuffle your library. Grim Tutor. Speaking of Grim Tutor, search library for a card, put that card into your hand, then shuffle your library. This is great because it goes into your hand on top of your deck. Imperial Seal. Sorcery Speed. Don't forget this is Sorcery Spieled. Spieled? Blah, blah, blah. English. I speak English. Sorcery Speed. Search your library for a card, then shuffle and put that card on top. You lose 2 life. I'm so glad they reprinted this. So glad. Mystical Tutor. Top of library. Sorcery or instant, and you got to reveal it. Vampiric. Don't have to reveal it. Lose 2 life on top of your library. Worldly Tutor. You got to reveal it. Put it on top of your library. And then we got the maybe board, which you can peruse at your leisure. Leisure. Jodah the Unifier. If you put this bad boy together, you are going to love playing it. I can almost guarantee it. Almost guarantee. I am definitely putting this one together, and I will do edits as I play it. All right, enjoy. Have fun. Thanks for tuning in. MTG Friends, y'all. Woo!